What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we have all been waiting for, and when I say been waiting, we have been waiting ages, ever since the first day this game is dropped. It's finally here. The Hourglass rework. Now, there are some other things that changed up with this update, obviously, and we'll go ahead and discuss them all. I'll share my opinions, but man, Hourglass, this is probably the biggest thing that we've been waiting for ages now, and the real question is, how does this map hold up? And honestly, I'm going to probably go a little bit more in depth. I think I'm going to play it a lot more and then come back with another video, a detailed video, especially compared to the previous version. But first initial impressions, I gave it at least a good 2.5 hours of only playing this map strictly on both Conquest and Breakthrough. I think that I can give a decent enough opinion about the overall experience right now. And of course, as always, I hope you guys go down in the comment section and leave your opinions about this, overall map change as well. But ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and dive deep into the topic of today's video, if you do enjoy what you hear today and want to hear some more content revolving around X-Define, Battlefield, or even Call of Duty, because obviously today is also another big day because Season 5 is going to be launching for Modern Warfare 2, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification button. You'll be notified on all of these videos, all these topics, all the discussions. And last but not least, we will be streaming today as well over on Kick, like I said, Season 5 for Modern Warfare 2, so if you guys want to be a part of that, see my opinions earlier than the video when it comes to Season 5, and also we do open lobby, so if you want to experience it with me and maybe rage with me, then by all means, tune into the stream. We do it over on Kick. I got the link to that down in the description of this video. Alright, so there are a few things I want to go ahead and discuss with you guys here. Of course, I'm going to come back later on for some of these topics to go a little bit more into detail, but right now I just want to give my first initial impressions on things like the Hourglass rework, the squad management updates, things like squad orders, lock remove, all that good stuff. And also they added dispersion to the SMGs and LMGs finally. Yes, before it was only ARs that had the dispersion on it. Now it's SMGs and LMGs. So, how does that obviously affect it overall? Again, I can make it a little bit more detailed, but right now I'll give my first initial impressions on how they all feel. Of course, I want to start off with the Hourglass, the most important factor in my opinion. It's a hard one. It's a hard one because realistically, this map shouldn't have taken this long. I like what I have, and I'll explain a little bit, deeper into detail what I do like. But at the end of the day, did this need to be the last map that came out? No. This was probably the most obnoxious experience, in my opinion. Hourglass since day one. It's been one of the maps that everybody has begged to be reworked since day one. They knew this is the most hated, and they took the longest to do so. So honestly, I was expecting a lot more. I was like literally expecting a whole map overhaul in certain ways, which it kind of is. It's a lot of different, vibes, I guess I should say. But at the end of the day, it's not really what I was expecting out of making it the last map to come out that is reworked. But from what we have, it's fun. 64-player Conquest is a bit boring in my opinion. It's not a lot of action in between the flags. There were some points where the action did start popping off and people started to circulate around the same objectives, but a lot of the time it was just too spread out. It might be because people don't know how to play the map yet. It might just have to understand the flow. But even on objectives, just trying to, go to objectives and cap them or defend, it's just nothing going on. I can run the whole map objective to objective trying to cap stuff, and I might see a couple to a few people in each, zone, and that's about it. But I want a little bit more action out of Battlefield, honestly, and Breakthrough really does give you that when it comes to this map. The Breakthrough lineup for this thing is just insane. It's tons of fun, and honestly, I like it. At the end of the day, across the board, when it comes to Conquest and Breakthrough, when this map comes up in the rotation, I'm not leaving now. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Before, I will leave every single time I see it, and everybody else would too. Every time I load up a match of Hourglass, the whole lobby just, completely flies away. So I feel like this will make some positive changes for the future, and I think the overall list of maps that we have now are good. This map does bring in some new vibes. It has that old school Hourglass feel. They give you, two open sides of the map on each side, which is basically sniper territory, tank territory, air vehicle territory, whatever you want. And then obviously the infantry have a much tighter path. It has a very weird bird's eye view layout. But once you get the hang of it, it's kind of, understandable, and you get where all the action's at, and you get, how it flows overall. And I gotta admit, the bridge section is actually kind of fun. They have a whole underground bunker down there, and even fighting on top of the bridge is pretty intense. It almost reminds me of that one map from BattleBit. It's almost like they took inspiration from that, because it's one map on BattleBit where it's just a straight up bridge fight to get from one objective to the other, and that's kind of what it's like in this. Not as intense, but, it has a similar feel to it, and I enjoy it. One thing I'll say is if you're like me and you enjoy infantry combat the most, I think that you'll enjoy this rework. Definitely more than, compared to the OG version. Vehicle players, it's a little bit more toned back for you. It's not as good as the OG Hourglass, but honestly, for myself personally, I've been kind of able to navigate with the tanks and navigate with vehicles. I don't really have too hard of a time. I think it's actually still pretty even, but at the end of the day, for infantry though, of course, that's my main vibe. I gotta be honest, I am having a great time on this compared to the previous version of the game. And honestly, maybe I just need a little bit more time with Conquest 64 so it can settle in and I can, have a bit more fun with it. But right now, Breakthrough is where, all the action's at on this map. Conquest, like I said, I'll need more time with it. I want to go in depth with it. I want to, make some more content revolving around, more detailed aspects of the map. But from first initial impressions, nothing wrong with it. I think it's pretty cool. Then, obviously, moving over to the squad management features, they added in squad orders, which I don't think it's anything too crazy. All I know is that they spam you now when, you're not being a squad leader or a good squad leader, which is good. You want to make sure the squad lead continues to do their job, and you go ahead and notify them when they're not doing their job and stuff like that, or not marking up stuff, That's good, most definitely. I will say there is a bug right now in the game where sometimes it'll spam you. And, you can mark off an objective mark, like, okay, go there, squad, cap that. And it will keep spamming you saying in 50 seconds you're going to lose your squad role if you don't mark an objective when, 2 seconds ago you just marked one. And it constantly says it. So you have to constantly, keep unmarking, mark it, unmark, unless you want to lose your squad role. Just a slight bug, but yeah, there is some problems with it. But overall, it's a good feature. I was really hoping for some squad points, man. At the end of the day, there's still no incentive to being a good squad leader. There's just nothing. Battlefield 5 did such a good job with the point system to give you, rewards for playing a good squad role. And now it's just nothing, Yeah, I still do it because, it's just Battlefield. It's ingrained into our minds to just naturally play the OBJ and, mark stuff up and do it. It's been going on since the beginning of time. But there's no incentive. I don't feel anything. I think there is more points, isn't there, if your squad is actually doing these squad goals? But at the end of the day, I mean, what progression is in this game? Who cares about the rank? There's no prestiging like in COD. There's not much of a grind factor like in previous Battlefield games, like Battlefield 4, for example, where it's a ton of stuff that you want to get XP and points for. And basically, it's not really much to want to progress in, get XP. So, I don't know. I really hope they add in something in the future to up the squad management system. Yeah. And that would make things a lot better. But if they don't, then, I don't really expect anything too crazy coming out of this. And then, last but not least, the SMGs and LMGs got a little bit of a rework. Now, I did try them both out equally, the SMGs and the LMGs. And I gotta say, I am very thankful. Now, again, I think I need a little bit more playtime to test everything out. I've only tested out a couple, maybe a few of each, the SMGs and the LMGs. And I personally didn't get that much playtime because I did play about an hour to 2 hours with an assault rifle anyways. So I got maybe a couple of hours to a few hours with SMGs and LMGs, which I think, a lot more time might expose some problems that might need some adjusting. But from what I see right now, yes, I've tried multiple different things. I've fully autoed at multiple different ranges, and I feel like it's pretty good. It's in line with the ARs now, and it's not going to be over-dominant, because before this patch right here, before this update, ARs, they're fun and they're usable, but man, you could take an LMG or an SMG and never let go of the fire button. And I'll be honest, I don't really mind when you could do that in a Battlefield game because, for example, Battlefield 5, that had recognizable recoil patterns, things like the STG, all the guns basically across the board. When you shot that gun, you could pretty much memorize where you have to pull down, where you have to hold in order to completely engage with the enemy. I don't mind that. But, in a game like this, especially when they already changed a whole set of weapons to have dispersion, it feels so odd and awkward in gunfights when the rest of the guns don't even have to worry about that problem. So this, to me personally, it's good across the board. It might need some adjustments later on, but at the end of the day, at least it's finished, and we have pretty much all the guns across the board equal. Now, the real question is, will this update bring a lot of people back? Will it make the game interesting again? Will it keep people interested just to even begin with? Yeah, I gotta be honest, I don't really think so. I think people will come back and try Hourglass, and I encourage you to do so, because it really does play like a completely different map, and that's always fun. But I don't know, there's something really odd about Battlefield's life cycle right now. It's in a point in its lifespan where it's almost like, we finally caught up. Instead of the game launching and we're slowly progressing, we're slowly improving, and we can keep talking about stuff and keep working on stuff and just improving right now it feels like we are where we should have been day one. All the maps are reworked. We got a little extra content so the game isn't so stale. Maybe with a little less content it would be how it was day one, but it feels like we finally finished the game of catching up, right? We're all caught up. We got all the content done. Now we just need to just get more. That's basically it. We need to begin the life cycle, basically, of Battlefield 2042. More DLC content, weapons, maps, themes, modes, just things to bring to life Battlefield. This game was supposed to launch with a bunch of, mini shortcut things for like movies on YouTube to know the whole vibes and the theme and the atmosphere of Battlefield 2042, which they said they're still going to do, but I haven't seen anything yet. They said that months ago, and it's still absolutely no sign of any story-driven anything on YouTube for Battlefield 2042. I don't know. I hope that now that we are at this point where you can continue, but something is really not sitting well with me that when the next season comes around, we might be, nearing the end of Battlefield 2042. And don't get me wrong, I want the majority of the developers to be working on the next title and really trying to put in a lot of effort, fix the mistakes, learn what happened with 2042 and improve upon it. And it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of effort, and I hope they all are working very hard on getting that, that image, that dream that the Battlefield community always has. Just get that one title to us. That'll be fantastic, but if this game has to end, it has to end, but it'll be bad for the overall community. It'll be less current Battlefield titles that we can play, and once again, another project that EA has just completely shut down 2 times in a row. They already did the Battlefield 5, and if they do it to Battlefield 2042 next, it's going to be rough on their reputation. And let's not forget Battlefront 2 as well, so that'll be 3 times if they end up doing it Battlefield 2042, but, only time will tell. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like button if you hated it. Leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button. Also, in chat, there's Twitter, do so. I have a Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also, when catching me live streams of video games, do over on Twitch. Link to the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.